Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday. It is Wednesday. My curls are cooperating. Everybody's happy. So, well, my bangs aren't cooperating, but anyways, I'm just going to wait for a few people to get on, and while I do that, I'm going to go ahead and, well, today is Self-Care Wednesday, so happy Self-Care Wednesday. I always feel like it's good to have Self-Care Wednesday in the middle of the week, kind of that hump day thing. But I'm going to start with the morning mantras, and then we'll get into some mindfulness, and then we'll get into our topic for today, which I'm looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to. Part of it is on my screen, and the other part is not, because it really kind of came to me at really the last minute. So I may actually go into this tomorrow as well. Maybe it's a two-parter for Self-Care Wednesday and things to think on Thursday. So yeah, maybe we'll make it a two-parter. Good morning, baby sibling. Welcome. So let's start with the, again, I'm going to start with the morning mantras from the Affirmators family. And I just love the cup of coffee. Good morning, Carrie. So, oh, I still haven't posted all the stuff that Carrie sent me. I bought some earrings for her, and I forgot to put them on. They're still downstairs. But anyways, and I have my, you know, my daily reminders from my friend Heidi for my birthday. Strong as hell. I trust my every damn move, you know, my mouth. So anyways, let's get going. And I was a little selfish. I drank all the good coffee this morning. Sorry, older sibling. But it's delightful. Nothing like Hawaiian coffee. So anyways, let's get going. I'm the only me I've got, so I'm going to speak lovingly to myself from sun up to sun up. That means extra compliments, hold the critical anxiety spirals. Critical anxiety spirals. I didn't do a show yesterday because part of what I'm going to talk about today, I was doing some heavy lifting with the journaling this week, and this last weekend and Monday, and it just really kind of just emotionally took it all out of me that when I woke up yesterday, there was nothing in the tank, nothing, and I didn't want to half-ass the show, you know. I mean, there were times when I'd force myself and I'd look back and it's like, oh, maybe you should have just skipped it, but I realize now that, you know, the mental health does matter. So anyways, this is it, and I'm going to read the little post-it notes for you, and you can see my wall, there's post-it notes. I'm the only me I've got, so I'm going to speak lovingly to myself from sunup to sunup. That means extra compliments, hold the critical anxiety spirals. You look better than average. You sure can make a lemon square. Wow, you're good at compliments. I love that you're good at making lemon squares. I have a computer sitting by my legs, which holds a fabulous lemon square recipe, and sibling and I are holding our breaths hoping the computer still works because it was her stepmom's. So, all right, let's get to the mindfulness cards. Oh, I almost forgot. Baby sibling's on. Happy hump day! Hump day, hump day, hump day, hump day. Hump day. I called her last week just to leave that voicemail because it's like, I really love doing that, but I only do it when she's on. So anyways, so I'm grateful that she's working from home. Did you see all those cards just fly out? All right, I always try to shuffle 3 times to see what... Damn, you guys are needy today. So or maybe it's me. It's probably me. Good morning, Leah. So all right, let's get to the mindfulness cards. I love this. I love this. My cousin Jeannie gave me these for my birthday 2 years ago. And there's inspiration, mindfulness, and quotes. But I really love the mindfulness for Self-Care Wednesday because I really think it hits home and it really kind of touches on the self-care. So, practice growth mindset. Oh, that's what I was doing this weekend. Your mindset can fall into one of 2 different categories, fixed or growth. A fixed mindset believes that a person's qualities, intelligence, and talents are not changeable. A growth mindset is based on the belief that your basic qualities are things you can cultivate through your efforts. Spend one day using the word yet. Whenever you are ready to say you cannot do something, add the word yet on the end, and you'll be able to be more mindful about improving and developing your skills. So, I kind of I'm going through this. I mean, my brain is still struggling, but this is why I fed myself caffeine this morning, because it was the only way to get going, and I did not want to skip Self-Care Wednesday. But growth mindset is about saying yet. When, there's people out there, well, I haven't done this yet. Just add yet today. Give yourself that opening. Maybe there's things maybe you have a bucket list. Maybe there's things on your bucket list. Well, I haven't done this. Maybe I'm never going to do it. Don't say maybe I'm never going to do it. Just say I have not done this yet. And then see if you get there. When we really want to do something, we will make it happen. All right. I've given plenty of examples of this over the time that this show has been on. And it really stands true. And just as a quick blip for, the people that have been on here for a while are probably going to go, God, she's going to talk about it again. But my trip to London several years ago, I did not think I could make that happen. Bam. Within 2 months, I had everything. I had my tickets to the play first, then airfare, then a place to stay. By the time, the middle of February came along, I was done. All I had to do was chomp at the bit until it was time to get on the plane and go. So never say never, So today, practice that. I have not done this yet. All right. And even if you're struggling, say you're struggling financially, and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to pay this bill? Well, I have not paid this bill yet. Give it that opening. Don't put that out there to the universe. So the universe says, okay, well, I'm going to continue to give this back to you. All right. So yet. Mindful love. Tell your partner 5 things about them that you love and respect that you wouldn't normally say. Try to view your partner with new eyes and communicate with them your appreciation for their best qualities. So obviously this card is aimed at people who are in a relationship with someone, but for those of us who aren't, let's add that. Maybe there's someone maybe you have a roommate, all right? Or maybe you have a best friend, or maybe you're going to see some people today. Pick your person, and even if you just text them, text them, 5 things about them that you love and respect that you wouldn't normally say. And then try to view that person or your partner with new eyes and communicate with them your appreciation for their best qualities. Even though we assume our loved ones know how we're feeling, it's always good to let them know. It's always a nice thing to hear, right? I mean, we all like compliments, even when we struggle to take them and say, oh, well, you too. Don't do that, all right? They're giving you a compliment. And when they give you a compliment, don't sit there and say, oh, well, that's just, I'm just emulating you. Well, no, just say thank you. Just say thank you. That's very kind of you. And it's, that makes me feel good to hear that. So just find a new perspective. No, stay with the Aloha perspective, but find a new perspective to think about. Shameless plug. When having negative feelings, close your eyes. Visualize the thoughts as an object. Write down how you could move the object. These do not have to be practical. For example, if you see the problems as a black cloud, visualize the cloud levitating away or being blown away in the wind. Looking at the problems from another perspective enables us to separate the problem from ourselves. You can focus on removing the obstacle more easily. Now, when it says it doesn't have to be practical, maybe you're visualizing that black cloud, right? We're just going to go with the black cloud. And you're visualizing the wind taking it away. Toss a lasso around that sucker and, pull it away. Say, no, not today. Not today, black cloud, not today. So, this is funny. Cloud thoughts. Cloud thoughts. Lay down and notice all the thoughts that come into your head. Recognize that the thoughts do not control you. They emanate from you. Imagine each thought as a cloud slowly drifting away as more thoughts come. Notice them without judgment and allow them to drift away. Seriously, 2 cloud ones in a row? All right, I see you. So, my thoughts have been, I have been a chronic overthinker since Saturday, like chronic overthinking since Saturday, and my head's about to explode unless I get it all out of me, and it's just driving me nuts. But this is good. Imagine those thoughts as being a cloud just drifting away. All right, maybe they come together and make a rainbow of beautiful thoughts, pretty thoughts, right? All right, brain dump. I swear these cards are speaking to me. I'm really sorry. I'm trying to share this with all of you, but somehow they keep coming back to my brain. So hopefully this is stuff that's going to help you all too. And it's going to really kind of go, I think, with what I want to talk about today. So All right. If you are not meeting your goals, try this. Find a blank sheet of paper, entitle it Brain Dump, and write procrastination, fears, discouragements, and incomplete goals as subheadings around the page. Jot down all the things jot down all the things holding you back from completing your task. Once you have emptied your brain, start on your task again with a clear mind. Do not reread the list. Allow it to be the place that you leave your thoughts behind. You could throw it away, you could toss it, you could burn it safely. You could throw it in a thing of water and just let it dissolve. But just basically, this is journaling, all right? So again, write down your procrastinations, your fears, discouragements, and incomplete goals as subheadings. I'm going to put this one aside so we can talk about it. I can put it in the comments later, all right? For those of you that may want to do that. Feeling your feelings. What is it? You got to feel it to heal it. You got to go through it to grow through it. You got to, I don't know. That's what I got. You got to feel it to heal it or go through it to grow through it. And does it hurt? Oh, yeah, like a bitch. But you know what? I was talking to someone last night and they were like, oh man, I kind of wish that I was able to be where you're at, right now and the way you think and this and that. And it's like, I'm struggling, but it's not because of anything other than I'm really kind of coming truly to the end of this journey. It's like every time I think I get close to the end of the journey, it's like one of those movies that go on forever, the Titanic sunk and there's still an hour more of a movie. That movie was longer than the actual sinking, but it's a bad example, but it just keeps going, right? And going and going and going until finally you get the end. Finally you have that conclusion. And I know I'm really, really close. And so I was talking to somebody last night and they're just like, yeah, I wish I was kind of in this space that you're in. And it's like, I didn't get here by not working hard. I had to face my crap. I had to go through it. I had to do what I'm going to talk about today. I'm just going to talk about a little bit of a different part of shadow work and Carl Jung. And I'm also going to share a card from the Heal Yourself deck, which flew out last night when I was trying to find something to journal about. And I really think it'll help a lot of people. So I'm going to read that as well. But I think a lot of times, we forget that. So let's see. When you are feeling bored, sad, irritated, angry, or frustrated, give conscious but relaxed attention to that emotion. Recognize the feeling as if you were watching an outsider. This can diffuse negative emotions and help you reach a calm and peaceful place. So believe it or not, it's actually the meditation. Good morning, Lori Bradford. It's actually the meditation that's kind of been pulling all this up because I'm doing the 21 days of calm. And it's about, not judging your thoughts, not judging when you're meditating and your mind starts, I have a monkey mind. I have like actually forget monkey mind. I have a freaking circus in my head. Okay. And it never seems to stop no matter how hard I try to get it to stop. But everything is trainable. The monkeys, the circus, everything, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to honor the feelings, honor the emotions. But I told this person I was talking to yesterday, I didn't just get here. Ask baby sibling, ask older sibling. They had to deal with a lot of my meltdowns and a lot of my severe just falling apart. I felt like I was just like this big tower that kept crumbling and trying to rebuild and then crumbling and rebuild and crumbling. And now, again, a couple months ago, we did we did the foundation of self-love. Then we did the 30 lessons of self-love, and we're kind of in the middle of self-awareness. We've done the first half, but because I'm struggling with my own self-awareness, it's been hard to do those cards. So it's kind of been a break, and the Aloha perspective, we'll get back to it. The Aloha perspective. Look at me talking like, I'm not this show. I will get back to it. And, we'll move forward. But, and I'm, for anybody who was really just kind of getting a lot out of the self-awareness, I do apologize. But the way I like to see it is I believe everything happens for a reason. So maybe this little break from that, there were 30 days or 30 lessons of one thing. Then we got to 32 lessons of self-awareness. Now we're taking a break and we're kind of creating this bridge between our self-awareness, right? We're creating like all the little things inside that maybe we're not realizing we need to move into the second half of this deck. Because the second half of this deck, it's going to get hardcore manifestation kind of stuff. You know, it's going to be a lot of hardcore healing stuff. So, and to really, really kind of make your brain just go, you know, so I like to think that this is where we're at, building that bridge and making sure that we've got all those onions peeled, all those black clouds pushing away, and just setting ourselves up for success. So repeat a positive affirmation. It's easy to go off on a negative tangent of thoughts. A great way to reverse this is by repeating a positive affirmation. The focus on the repetition is a mindful practice and has the added benefit of making you feel more positive. Let's see. What can we... There's a lot of things we can talk about. I'll worry about it tomorrow. That's one of my dad's favorites. This too shall pass. You know, or just for today I will be grateful. Just for today I will be grateful is actually the third of 5 principles in Reiki. But it's one of my favorite because the whole Reiki thing, just for today I will not be angry, I will not worry, I will be grateful, I will do my work with diligence, I will be kind to all living things. And it's not forcing you to just say, for my whole life, this is how I'm going to be. No, just for today. It's taking it one day at a time. And if you have to just kind of, you know, mix it up a little bit, you could say, just for this moment, I am grateful. Just in this moment, I am grateful. Or just break it down to, I am grateful. I am grateful. And start thinking about all the things you're grateful for. Maybe you have a partner. Maybe you have a house. Maybe you have fur babies. Maybe you have babies. You know, your car, your electricity, the water that comes out of your pipes, all these things. A lot of people don't have these things. And a lot of people don't have fresh water. You know, I mean, I like a lot of the charities that do the freshwater thing in other countries. I'm not trying to minimize it by saying the freshwater thing, but I think we don't think about all the things that we have. You know, the phone to do this show, or the camera to do this show, or the lights to do this show, the cards. Right? The fact that people know me well enough to, you know, give me these things. So I think that's a good place to end. I'm going to get into the shadow work and then I'm going to read the card that I pulled. It's a good one. So I highly suggest you stick around for it. All right. What is shadow personality? So shadow work, you know, I've said this before. I really kind of thought shadow work was a very metaphysical thing. Turns out it's a psychology thing, right? Carl Jung used to be a mentee. I don't know if is that a word? Mentee? Used to be a protege. Let's go with the fancy French word. Used to be a protege of Sigmund Freud. But from what I've been reading, and I do need to get a book on Carl Jung because I find his brain so fascinating. But they started drifting because they started having different ideas of what affects people, you know, and Carl Jung believes that everybody has this shadow side, which really kind of goes back to childhood, like the repressed memories. And you know what? Maybe nothing bad happened to you. You know, there's a lot of people out there that have trauma. There's a lot of people who don't. But that doesn't mean that you don't have bad memories. Maybe somebody that, you know, you really loved, you know, passed away, that you were close to, or maybe you moved away and you had a hard time making friends, and eventually you found those friends, new friends, so you're just kind of like, okay. But it's all those moments that hurt us and are so dark, but they turn out okay, so we don't heal them. And not every emotion or feeling needs to be healed. Sometimes it just heals itself on its own, but sometimes it doesn't. You know, maybe you had this great group of friends, you know, maybe you were popular, but somebody still picked on you. Somebody still made you feel like you weren't worthy of being where you're at. Or maybe you weren't popular and people made you feel even worse about that. That's more where I was at. I was not popular at all. But that's okay. I didn't need to be. People love me now. Can I say? I'm a delight. I would say that's the caffeine talking, but it's not. Oh my God, this coffee's so good. Okay, I'm sidestepping here for a second. I mixed the chocolate and vanilla macadamia nut. My tongue is in heaven. Poor sibling who didn't get the coffee. Sorry. That's what happens when you don't wake up on time. So anyways, I can hear in my head, hey. So anyways, I'm sorry. You know what? When I get fidgety and itchy, I found this out while meditating the other day. When I get itchy, it's because I'm getting anxious. Yeah, see, Lori Bradford says it. Being bullied is hard to get past. I was bullied a lot when I was a kid. And, you know, as a hurt person hurting people, for a while I became the bully. And I didn't mean to be. I didn't even realize I was doing that, but it was coming from such a place of pain. And so, you know, I don't know if the people that bullied me were in pain or they just thought, well, I'm better than you. And I went to a Catholic private school, so I'm guessing it was, I'm better than you. And that is passing judgment, I know. But whatever it was, it is something hard to get past. And this is where shadow work can help. You know, like I said, shadow work, it's not for the faint of heart. It is not for the faint of heart. It hurts. It hurts. But if we live in that darkness for so long, we sit there and we look at other people and go, wow. I mean, like, I had a friend the other day that said, oh, you know, I thought you were doing better because you're posting all kinds of positive stuff. I always post positive stuff, the best I can, because it's a reminder to me that even if I'm in a low place, it will get better. You know, Sunday I was falling apart. Nobody was answering their phones. Nobody. And I cried and I thought, God, I feel so alone. And then I realized it's because I had to do the work. You know, it wasn't time for me to bounce things off of people. I needed to do the work. And it sucked. But you know what? I did the work. And I figured it out. And, you know, I'm still trying to figure it out. But let's get to this. What is shadow personality? Carl Jung believed the human psyche was made up of 3 components. Number 1, the ego. It is what we are consciously aware of when we think about ourselves. So when we sit there and go, I don't get it. So, well, someone say, well, I have a fragile ego, or the strong male ego, or the strong female ego, or the strong them ego, however you want to put it, you know, or a fragile ego. And a fragile, you know, we hear the word ego and I think we automatically think, well, he's all big on himself. Ego is your id. Okay. I think that's how you say it, but it's really kind of the core of you, that ego. You know, is it fragile? Is it strong? Is it narcissistic? There's all different kinds of egos out there. But the ego is basically our personality. It's what we are consciously aware of when we think about ourselves. What kind of person do we want to be? Do we think only of ourselves? Which really gets into a whole different kind of personality disorder. But is it, you know, do we think about other people? Do we think about other people so much that we forget about ourselves? Older sibling reminded me yesterday. She's all, you know, you're always doing things for everybody else. You have got to start taking time for yourself. And I hadn't thought about that. And in the past, I used to do that because I didn't want to deal with me. I didn't want to deal with my crap. I didn't want to heal that pain because it hurt too much to think about it, to drudge up all these memories to, you know, just so I could heal them. And so I spent a lot of time focusing on other people. And by doing that, I was really doing myself a disservice. And so one day I sat down and thought, all right, let's do this. And I did it. And I kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it for a very long time. Until I finally got to this place where I could see the light. So my ego went from being fragile to, I would say it's a little bit on shaky ground because I'm really trying to find my confidence and my self-esteem. And a lot of people are going to mistake your confidence and your self-esteem for being all about you. It's not being all about you. Look at the things that you do for other people. It's okay to take care of yourself. Self-care is not selfish. It's necessary. That's why I'm doing the shadow work on today's show. Let's see, the second one, the personal unconscious. All the information in someone's mind that is not readily available to consciously recall. This to me is where your shadow truly lies. Again, all the information in someone's mind that is not readily available. Why can I not read today? I don't think it's my writing. I printed so I could read my writing. All the information in someone's mind that is not readily available to consciously recall. And I do. I think that's where the shadow sits. You know, Lori says being bullied is hard to get past. It is hard to get past because a lot of times when we think about one time, when we like maybe this is the worst time that you've ever been bullied, and you think about it, then you start thinking about all the maybe the little lesser known types of bullying. You know, maybe the emotional, you know, abuse. Maybe somebody pushed you around. Maybe someone did both. Maybe somebody hurt you in a very bad way. You know, I mean, they're all bad. Any type of abuse is bad. But that starts coming up. And then all of a sudden, it feels like that one weed you pulled just pulled up 1,000 others. And those are the things that aren't readily available in our conscious, you know, recall, because we don't want to think about it. It makes us nervous. It makes us scared. So, and the third, the collective unconscious, another form of conscious, I not read today, the collective unconscious, another form of the unconscious, but one that is common to all of us. So it's kind of like, you know, when you meet people, right? And you're just tossing thoughts back and forth, you're bantering, and then things start to come up. This is what my understanding of it is. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to read what I have here because I think it's very, very important. So this actually talks about the collective unconscious, which is another form of the unconscious, but one that is common to all of us. And I think what they mean common to all of us is no matter what your trauma, whether you had trauma, whether you didn't have trauma, whether you were bullied or you were not bullied, whether you were the bully, maybe. Or maybe you're the hurt person hurting people, right? Hurt people. So let's go through the 12. All right. And if there's any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer it. I am still learning a lot about Carl Jung. But again, I just want you to, I just want to say this. Now, I have been warned in previous perspectives to not apologize. But I do want to say this. I am doing my best, because I'm still very disjointed. I'm still very kind of just trying to zero in and focus on this. But this idea to talk about shadow work hit me upside the head so hard at like 8:15 this morning, 15 minutes before the show went live. And I thought, I've got to do this. There's somebody out there, including myself, who probably needs to hear these things. The 12 distinct typical, so this is it. From our collective unconscious, Jung believed 12 distinct typical human qualities and faults developed. He called these archetypes. The shadow self is one of these 12 archetypes. So I'm going to read this because, and you know what, this is going to be new to me too. All right. Because like I said, I'm still learning about Carl Jung. I really need to get a book on Carl Jung. And, so let's go. Let's do this together. All right. We're in it to win it together. So how do you define the shadow? Here are 3 common defining characteristics. Number 1, the shadow is the part of our personality that we have suppressed, often because it's too painful to acknowledge. Now, I can't see the whole link on here because it's covered by my camera, but I will put this in the comments because I do like to give credit where credit is due. All right. I can see hackspirit.com. And then Carl Jung in the shadow. So maybe that's it. But, all right. So the shadow is the part of our personality that we have suppressed, often because it's too painful to acknowledge. So think of it as sitting on top of a volcano, right? Everything looks beautiful. You can see, you can see for miles and miles and miles. But then all of a sudden the ground starts getting shaky. Right? Everything starts to shake below you. And you're like, uh-oh. And it's like, am I going to fall in or am I going to fall off? But either way, it's not that safe, right? Because if that volcano explodes, you're done for. Now, imagine you're the volcano. There's this surface part of you where everything looks like it's under control. Everybody thinks that you're in a good place because you're posting positive stuff. Everybody thinks you're this magical human being because you see things so differently than they do. You can put a name to the pain. You can figure out how to get through the pain. You have cute little rhyming things. Feel it to heal it. Go through it to grow through it. But what they don't see is that maybe there's this shakiness under you. And then all of a sudden, poof, right? I often joke and call myself Mount Shelsuvius. I know, my name can go with so many things. I'd also like to point out that during the entire month of January, I completely missed the opportunity to use the word celebration, right? I don't know why that hit my head, but maybe we need a little humor in this moment. But really, think about it. It's that volcano. Because that's where the shadow stuff lives. That's the stuff where we push down, we push down, we push down. Until it's like that game, oh God, I can't remember what that game was. Perfection. I don't know if anybody remembers that game, Perfection, but you push down the solid part, or whatever, the table part within the game. And then you have like, I think, a minute to put all the pieces into place. And if you don't, poof, they all come up and they all come out. And this is what suppressing that shadow can do. When we don't deal with the things that we need to deal with, when we keep running away from it, maybe we keep ourselves too busy so we don't have to deal with it. Maybe we become social butterflies because we don't know how to deal with it. I used to be a social butterfly. I really rather kind of miss it because I love being around people, you know, and now that I'm really kind of getting my energy under control, and, you know, in that time, I found I was an empath, which means I can soak up a lot of people's energy if I'm not prepared. And I don't, what I call, bubble myself. And it's not always a bad thing, because you manage to migrate to people that just need an ear. And sometimes they don't need an ear, but they feel so comfortable with you, they just spill everything. That's a gift. It may not seem like a gift, but it's a gift. Okay? And that's what I would do. I would hide it. I would hide it under being busy. And then all of a sudden, I was out of work. And I had nothing but time. And I had nothing but time to think about everything. And it's been hard. It's not been an easy road. But I finally realized in this moment that maybe that's why, you know, I am in this position I'm in. Because I've needed this time to heal. I've needed this time to not think about everything else outside of me. And do the work inside of me so that I can be of service to other people. And not from a place of, oh God, here they come again with their stories. No, but a place of, okay, what can I help you with? Do you just need an ear? You know? So, number 2, the shadow is the hidden part of our personality that is unconscious. It's where you hide all your crap, where you push it down. Number 3, the shadow is associated with the qualities we have that we worry are less appealing to other people. Maybe you're shy. Or maybe you look in the mirror and don't think you're good enough. Maybe you have body positivity issues. I certainly do. I'm moving past that slowly. I still get a little offended when I hear people say mean things and crack jokes. But that's people. You know, some people are just uncomfortable with things and don't know how to be friendly. And that's their problem. It's not my problem. What other people think of us is none of our business. Or what other people think of me is none of my business. Some people say hurtful things because they think they're being funny, not realizing that they are hurting other people. Maybe they blame people for the way they are. You know, I mean, when you sit down and think about it, it's my fault that, you know, I struggle with body positivity. It's my fault that I've gained all this weight because I had emotional issues and I didn't deal with them. But I'm not going to fault myself for that anymore. Because I know I'm exactly where I'm meant to be in this moment. I know there are other people like me struggling with the same things. And I know that, you know, there are groups out there that try to help us through all these wonderful things called emotions. So, let's see. I think that was it for the 12 things, but I'm going to put this in the article because it looks like a really, really good article. But I really wanted to cover the shadow part of that. Again, last December 2021, I believe, I did like a, I think it was like a 3 or 4 day thing, or maybe it was 2 to 4 days of shadow work. And I got a lot from that. It was the first time I'd ever done it. And it's one of those things where you feel like, you know, you think you're done digging, and then poof, something else comes up. And I think what I was fighting with was this last weekend. I went to happy hour with some friends and my dad and my cousin, and a lot more people showed up than we thought were going to be there. But what was interesting was that when my mom was sick, you know, I was always told from, like I said, different people, not the same people, different people, you have healing hands, you have healing hands, you have healing hands. My friend let me, you know, lay my hands on her knees while we're at happy hour so I could help any way I can. And she starts really complimenting me and giving me all these things like, wow, I can feel the energy. And I'm like, you're joking, right? She's like, no, really. She's like, I can. And then we just started talking. And somehow my mom came up. And not in conversation, but in my head. And I thought, wow, she can feel this going all the way down from, you know, the top of her knee to her feet. And, you know, even if you don't believe in that, you know, it's just, all I could think of was, I couldn't heal my mom. You know, and I was, you know, I went over it with baby sibling, I went over it with older sibling, you know, it just wasn't meant to be. I couldn't heal Sissy. It just wasn't meant to be. And when I had this, I had to walk outside, and I called older sibling. And I kind of talked it out with her because I didn't want to sit there and start crying at the table, right? You know, it's like, oh, you know, nobody wants to be that person that brings happy hour down. But I had to get it out of me. In the old days, I would have suppressed it. But again, now when I try to suppress things, I get itchy. I do. It's like I'm allergic to trying to be, you know, I get allergic to trying to push stuff down. I get itchy, and it's just like, oh my God, it's like everything itches. When I start overthinking when I'm going to sleep, it's like I get itchy. And it's like, oh, see, now my back is itchy. Anyway, let's bring it down a level. I went outside and I talked to older sibling, and I told her, I said, here's the thing though. I don't know if I'm crying because I couldn't do it or because I'm relieved that I finally was able to admit it. That it just wasn't meant to be. I wasn't meant to save her. And I really do believe that a lot of what we go through comes from a spiritual level. And it manifests itself in our body. I mean, I personally believe that part of this journey was my mom's way of pushing me through and saying, you got to get it all out because I don't want you to end up like me. And like I said, you don't have to believe that. That's your choice. But for those who do sit on a spiritually, you know, metaphysical level, I really do believe that a lot of what we struggle through manifests itself in our body. You know, the sadness, the anger, maybe you're hiding things. Maybe you're in an abusive relationship and you're hiding that. Or, you know, maybe you grew up in an abusive place and you're hiding that. And it manifests because we don't let it go. The human body was not meant to contain all the pain. It's meant to be this, you know, this, I don't know, think of yourself as like an M&M, you know? There's the shell on the outside, which is all this. And then the chocolate on the inside is your soul. And maybe you're a peanut M&M and you have that extra gift inside of you, right? Or the caramel ones, or the pretzel ones, or whatever. Maybe you're just a plain old M&M. Pick your color. But think about it. Our outside is very fragile. And it's not meant to last forever, but the soul is. You know, some people believe that we have many lives, and a lot of people believe that each life that we come back, it's meant to show us what we need to learn. There's a great movie called Defending Your Life, all right, with Albert Brooks and Meryl Streep. It's years, I don't know if it was the 80s or the 90s. Great movie. And in fact, it's kind of funny because when I think about it, that ever since I was a kid, before I even saw that movie, that's how I felt about life. You know, when you're ready, you move on. You know, when you're ready to show that courage, you're ready to move on. See, there's the segue right there. I almost forgot about the card. Guess what the card is? It's called Courage. Dun, da, da, da. That's the one that came out last night after Sadness. Sadness came out first and then Courage. And I journaled hard on that. And I thought, courage. And I thought, that's exactly what I need. Because what's holding me back now, see, it's my tell, right? It's my tell. You can tell now when I'm getting anxious because I get itchy. And it's not like, you know, I itch in one place. Like if I just did this, it's like, yeah, that's not a big deal. But you saw I got itchy there. Now I'm getting itchy. Okay, stop it, Shelly Marie. Anyways, it's currently my tell. If I scratch more than 2 places, I am probably feeling that anxiety coming up. So, courage. All right, courage. Look at him. He's all like, yes, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to save the world with my lantern and whatever that creepy thing is behind him. I don't know. Hold on. I can't tell. I mean, look at her fingers. She looks like she's trying to get him. Like, hey, I'm the one of the brides of Dracula and I'm going to suck the life out of you. And he's saying, no, I have a lantern. You will not. So, oh, thank you, older sibling. She says my hair looks great. They cooperated today. I admit, I have a few man-made curls in there because the snakes were being a bit Medusa-like, but all right, courage. Courage requires you to fearlessly stride ahead despite the challenges you are experiencing. Whether you are afraid of success or failure, you cannot stay where you are. You need to make a decision and move forward with belief, trust, and boldness. Give it your all, no matter the outcome. I struggle with trust. Despite what you have been telling yourself, you're ready for a new adventure and another chance to prove that you have what it takes to face life's challenges. Stop investing in limitations, lack, and dysfunction. Every blessing has a challenge, and every challenge contains a blessing. You are ready to explore both. Whilst there may be difficult moments ahead, keep positive and believe that everything is going to work out for your absolute best. You're being asked to gather the courage to be who you truly are and to stand strong for your convictions. So I think this can go back to the shadow personality, right? Your ego. Do you have a fragile ego or a strong ego? So basically, do you have a fragile sense of self or do you have a strong sense of self? Because it's really, to me, in my interpretation of what the ego is, my interpretation of the ego, what it says, is what we are consciously aware of when we think of ourselves. Are you constantly putting yourself down? If you are, have the courage to shine a light. See that lantern? Shine a light on yourself because you deserve that. You deserve to shine like everybody else. It's not our job to make everybody else look good. It's our job to make ourselves look good too. You know, I mean, yeah, if you're a parent, you want nothing but the best for your kids, right? If, you know, I don't have kids, but everybody around me, I want the best for them. I want them to shine. But I can't give them my light to shine. I have to teach them how to shine on their own. You know, and that's kind of the whole cup idea, right? You know, when we serve from a full cup. Are you giving your light to other people and then just sitting there in the dark, waiting for that light to be given back? It ain't always going to happen, kids. Sometimes people will take that light and run. That's right. And they won't mean to. They just do. Because maybe their life gets better. Maybe they find someone wonderful. And they forget about you. Or they forget about all the stuff around them. But that's okay. Don't be angry. You know, maybe you have somebody who doesn't know how to find their light. So you're like, here, take my light. And then they just kind of sit there until it goes out. And you're just like, okay, now neither one of us have a light. So this guy, he's holding on to that lantern for dear life, right? Right? He's got that look on his face like, I'm going to be courageous. I'm going to use my lantern to light the world. But it's got a flame in it. And what can we do? When we keep our light shining, other people can light their lights from ours. When our cup overflows, think of it as like a fountain. Other people can fill their cups from our cup. You know, think of it as like one of those cool fountains. What is it, Golden Corral that has a chocolate fountain? Seriously, really, I need a chocolate fountain. But that aside, you never know what you're going to get on the perspective. It's like thoughts just randomly come out of my head. But think about that. You know, think of your cup as like this ginormous, like soup tureen, right? You have so much to give that people are able to take a little bit of that. Think of yourself as like a packet of seeds. No, maybe not a packet of seeds. Think of yourself as like a beautiful flower with lots of seeds in it, right? And people are able to pick that seed and help grow their own garden, help grow their own flower from themselves. And that's why I'm glad I zeroed in on the lantern. I know I made fun of it at first because the way he was holding it, but think about that with the lantern. You know, he's holding that lantern, and there's creepy girl behind him. I still don't know what she's up to, but we can take this lantern and we can help other people light theirs. You know, think about it when you watch a movie, right? One person, you know, they put that thing around the torch, everybody else grabs sticks and does the same thing, and they light their torches off of one torch. That one leader, that one person, we're all that leader. Maybe we were a person who lit our fire from somebody else. And now we've gotten to a place where we can share that. We can share that light with other people. We can give them the courage to take a bit of that light and light their own lantern. To take a bit of that fire that we have. Don't give your whole flame to somebody, because then you're left with nothing and you're struggling. And that may also be why I'm at where I'm at. I've fallen. Oh. Older sibling hit the nail on the head. See, look, I got an itch. She says she's trying to hold him back because she's scared. And when you really stop and look at her, she looks angry, like angry scared. But she probably is. You know? Sorry. I would say that me taking off my glasses and having to put the card up to my face is because I'm old, but it's just because I've been blind since 3rd grade. But yeah, maybe she's clamoring for what he wants. She needs that light on her, and he's shining that light saying, I'm going to get you. But I don't know, he looks more pale than she is. Maybe he's the vampire. But anyways, I don't know who's the vampire or who's what. He's got a lot of buckles. So just stupid shit I'm noticing. But yeah, I like what older sibling says. She's trying to hold him back because she's scared. But he has courage, and he's gonna give her a bit of that light that she needs. Right? He's gonna tell her, hey Toots, I got you. So I think that's what we need to do for ourselves. Don't give your whole light to someone. So I'm going to read the whole thing that sibling says. She's trying to hold him back because she's scared, but he has the courage to go forward. I think that's where I want to end this. Do we have the courage to go forward? You know, I know that there have been times that people have needed me and I've rolled my eyes, or I've not answered my phone, or I've just done this, that, or the other. And that's okay. See, I was angry at first that I called like 4 people Sunday and nobody answered the phone. And at first I was angry, but then I realized, you know what? Maybe they don't have enough to help me. And that's okay. Because this is one of those moments when I know nobody answers, including older sibling, that I know I'm supposed to do this on my own. That's how we make it through. That's how we push through. It's okay to bounce things off of people. It's okay to ask people to help you when you're struggling. It's all right. It's a sign of strength to ask for help, not weakness, strength. Because we're so ingrained it's been so ingrained in us to learn how to take care of our own crap on our own that we forget, or we never learn really how to ask for help, or that it's a sign of weakness if we ask for help. And it's not. Again, it's a sign of strength. Being vulnerable is not a weakness. Being vulnerable is strong. It takes a lot of strength to be vulnerable. Think about it when you're in a relationship, right? Maybe you're very guarded, and then you meet somebody fabulous, just randomly meet somebody fabulous. I'm actually thinking of somebody in my head. Now, I don't know if this is how they were feeling beforehand or how this person was feeling beforehand, but the way I see it is I have 2 different couples in my head right now that I'm thinking about. And, one half of each of those couples said, okay, I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to open myself up to this person. And now they're all in love. Not together, separately. But they fell in love. One said over here and the other said over here. because they allowed themselves to be vulnerable. They didn't overthink it. They decided, hey, you know what? I know this is probably not going to be easy, but I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to put my all into this because it feels right. Vulnerability is scary, and it takes courage to be vulnerable. But like older sibling has said, but he has the courage to go forward. So that's the question we need to ask ourselves. Do we have the courage to move forward? All right. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Again, I'm going to put that card brain dump into the comments so people can look. I'm also going to put the link to the Carl Jung article in the comments on Facebook. So if you're on YouTube, I'll try to put it in there. I think I can put the link into the comments there. But if you're unable to open the link from there, then you can come to Facebook. All publics are live. Anybody can watch under Shelley Marie Lucas. And I will also share it to my Facebook page, the Aloha Perspective. So we'll also be there as well and in the comments. All right. So again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll see everybody back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I think I'm going to cover a little bit more on the shadow work tomorrow. I'm going to go look back and see if I can find my old notes, and we'll go from there. Okay. That way we can dive a little deeper in how to do shadow work. So again, I hope everybody has a, what is happening? I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please, please, please take care of yourselves. It's Self-Care Wednesday. So again, I do these on Wednesday because I think it's a nice break in the middle of the week to see where we're at in this week. Just take it one day at a time. Even if you're a person who doesn't need to, take it one day at a time. You know, take it one moment at a time if one day is too much. All right, 1 minute at a time. And just remind yourself, I am grateful. Let that be your affirmation every time that black cloud decides to pop up in your head with those negative thoughts. I am grateful. And then work it into, I am grateful for. And then pick something. Even if it's just the pen you're holding. I'm grateful for this pen. This pen came to me all the way from Belize. Right? From, my friend Steve. So see, even my friends that are traveling still remember I love pens. And these are priceless to me, you know, and I do keep the fancy ones, even when they run out of ink. Maybe I'll think of something to do one day, make frames out of them or something. But anyways, I'm rambling. So have a great, great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And I will talk to everybody tomorrow. Have a great day.